continue our How Did You Get Here series with an impressive young man who kicked around a dream and made it a reality. Ethan is the founder of the International Soccer Academy of America. Good morning, Ethan, and welcome to Hometown Living.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So I love the story. So, people see you and the success as to where you are right now at your very young age, but have no idea what you went through to get here. So when did your love of soccer start?
Yeah, so I'm not like the typical kid, like you play soccer growing up and then you quit, right? I actually was introduced to soccer a lot later. So I was about 16, 17 when the World Cup happened. And then I just became obsessed with it because you see all these other countries and most of them are better than we are. But just the level of like country support, it's unlike anything you ever see. It's like the Olympics on steroids. So once I got introduced to it, I just been hooked ever since.
And so then you played soccer and then you became a coach.
Yeah.
So tell me about that season.
Yeah, so I played, I went to Marion High School and I played at Marion and I ended up going back there and coaching. And I went to Bethel in town, and once I graduated, I just did my master's thesis, as we've talked about on the show before, and ended up just kind of sticking with it because of the thesis, for those that don't know, was a business plan, and it was just to graduate, and it ended up turning into what I actually ended up doing, and so I'm stuck with it now.
So the whole idea of a school that not only do these kids get a high school diploma, but you encourage them, and part of their curriculum is actually playing soccer. Like, how did you even come up with something like that?
Yeah, so that's a very European style, and that's how they start the kids really young over there, which is why they're so talented when they get older. We're trying to get kids to catch up once they're, have already fallen in love with basketball or with tennis or whatever, and we can't catch up. So imagine like LeBron James is our goalkeeper in the United States. We would have a pretty good soccer team. Well, they choose other sports. So my view is like if you get them started younger, then they'll stick with it if they fall in love with it when they're younger. So followed the European system, partnered with a European team, and yeah, here we are.
What kind of challenges did you come up against throughout your journey?
Yeah, so there were a lot of challenges. I think the first one was the accreditation process the first year, because there was no precedent for anything we were doing. And so naturally the Board of Education was like, sorry, but we can't pass you because we don't even know what you're talking about. But after the first year, and we gave them all of our data, and they monitored us and they audited us, and they approved us the first year, and then that year was so successful, they gave us full accreditation moving forward.
What did you have to keep telling yourself to keep going during times when you thought you couldn't see a way that this was ever going to happen?
Yeah, so I talk a lot about manifestation and about just telling yourself you can do it and not believing anything else. Even if really deep down you do believe this is going to be way harder than I'm telling myself, if you just keep telling yourself you can do it, you will, because you don't speak anything else out loud. So just don't speak the negativity into the world, and it will come back the same way that you speak. Whatever you speak out loud will come back to you, in my view.
You had a very special relationship with Jackie Walorski. How did that relationship start?
Yeah, I was 13. It was election night 2010 when I first met her, and she had lost, and so I'm like, oh, she's gonna be cranky. I just thought when people lose, they're not happy. But she was so positive, and so even if she was upset, she hid it really well. And I just never forgot that someone in one of their toughest moments of their life, a congressional campaign that you spend millions of dollars on, that she was so positive, went down and met every single person down on the floor. She gave her speech and came down, and it was just so inspiring to see someone who had lost, fought hard but lost, and still wanted to keep fighting, and then the next election she won. So I think that's a huge lesson in life. Like, don't burn bridges, don't throw a hissy fit, because everybody's gonna remember. So if you lose, just keep fighting and your time will come.
So you've taken all of these life lessons and you've written a book.
Yes.
What inspired you? Because it's very raw. I got through about the first 3 chapters of it. And so what inspired you to do that?
Well, I started getting a lot of the same questions, like where do you come from? Why did you do this? Those kinds of things. And I just felt like it would cover every single part of what people want to know, and then give them more context, because they'll ask a question and then that creates like 3 more questions. So I just wanted to try and answer as much as I could. And I really hope that this book does that.
And so one of the things that I read was about manifestation, but the other thing was about the influence that your grandparents had on you.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. My grandparents helped raise me. My mom was 15 when I was born, and born in Mishawaka, and my dad was 18, and they needed a lot of support. And I turned 28 tomorrow, so I can only think about me having a 13-year-old right now. That wouldn't go well. So I am very grateful to my grandparents. They raised me in the faith, and just that gave me a grounding when things weren't super easy growing up, for sure.
What's the one takeaway that you would take away from your life to this point?
Um, hmm. I just think humility is the most important thing, because you can be on top of the world one moment and not the next. And you have to have relationships and people there to support you when it's good and bad, because those are the same people that are going to be there for you when it's bad or when it's good, and you'll know who those people are.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Your book is available now. I'm excited to get ready to keep reading through it. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you for the vulnerability that you share throughout the book too. I
Yeah, and for
appreciate
the
that.
viewers, it's live on Amazon.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us, Ethan. More hometown living when we return.